I'm dating my late husband's best friend. I don't know how to tell my in-laws.
That's messy.
That's
Real messy.
But my husband, Steve, passed away in an accident 4 years ago. Our daughter, Anna, was 8 months old, and I still have a close relationship with his family. Wow. I love them and want our daughter to know them and her father through them. By the way, this comes from Throw Away. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So I had a difficult time after Steve passed away. Having his family and his best friend Mark in my life were crucial to getting me through the first couple of years after he passed away. Mark and I became very close after Steve passed and eventually started dating. Our relationship grew bit by bit, but it has gotten serious enough that it's no longer practical or comfortable for me to hide it from Steve's family. Yeah, I mean, once it gets to that point,
Yeah.
Hoo-wee. Oh, man. Mark and my daughter are very close. He's become a father figure to her. Our relationship has reached a point where I would need to enlist Anna's silence to continue hiding it from Steve's family. Yeah, and you don't want to have kids. Yeah.
You don't want to like make your kids accomplices.
Yeah, make your kids lie. You don't want to make your kids lie.
No.
That's not good. Plus, things have gotten pretty serious. Mark has not ever wanted to hide our relationship, but went along at my insistence. He's also fairly close to Steve's family. When I first asked him to keep our relationship hidden from Steve's family, I did it for a number of reasons. I wanted to make sure that my feelings for Mark were in no way about mourning Steve. I wanted to continue to present Mark as a friend in front of my daughter, not wanting to approach the topic of dating until I was sure of my feelings and the future of our relationship. And also, I wanted to avoid the judgment that may come from being in a relationship with Steve's best friend. Those are all super reasonable things. As time went on, I continued to force the secrecy because I felt very uncomfortable with explaining our relationship to Steve's family.
But I think this is just like a slippery slope. It's like, yeah, they might react badly, but better get it over now.
You have to live your truth.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Steve's not going to go away. They're going to find out eventually.
Yeah.
And why, play all of the not the mind games, but play all of the games to keep it all a secret and get everyone else involved in the secret, then just say it.
Yeah, and I feel her on the part of like specifically I want to make sure that my feelings are like are real, but it seems like at this point we've definitely reached that.
I mean, like no one wants to be a secret.
Yeah.
Like obviously you guys were doing it you had your reasons, but yeah. A relationship is never going to be able to thrive the way that you want it until you are living your truth.
Yeah. You can't keep it in a box and expect it to grow, ladies and gentlemen. But Opie says Steve's mom has made many comments over the years that amount to her feeling that me remaining single for so long is evidence that I'm a good mom and that I loved her son. Oof. I see you. I don't want her opinion of me to change or to have that impact Anna's relationship with her grandparents and uncle. Now, Mark is basically sick of hiding our relationship.
Yeah.
He thinks that my hesitance to move forward in our relationship is tied to not wanting Steve's family to know that we're together. This is partially true, and I agree that it's time to let Steve's family know, but I'm still anxious about it, partially because I still don't want to be judged or viewed in a negative way, and also because I'm realizing that my insistence on secrecy has caused a lot of arguments and tension between Mark and I, which...
The thing is, the longer it's a secret, the more likely that this is going to end.
Ooh, it's like an inverse thing where it's like
it's a
more time
self-fulfilling
secret.
prophecy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh well, I don't wanna stay tell anyone if it's not gonna be real.
Well,
so
now it's gonna be a secret forever because it's not gonna exist.
Yeah.
Ha-ha! Problem solved.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I'm asking for some pointers, scripts, any advice on how to raise a topic with Steve's family. Dude, scripts, wow. Whole Hollywood movie
Opie's
over
like,
here.
please just tell me exactly what to say.
Yeah. I really have no idea what they may say or how they will react. We are going to a Memorial Day barbecue at Steve's parents' house, and I'd feel a lot more comfortable if I had planned some way of approaching the topic. Thanks. And we have an edit. But really quick, not that we'll do a whole script, but Sophia, I'm curious, what would be your approach to sharing this information?
Yeah. So, okay. And I just want to like double check the facts. So OP has kids with a deceased partner, Steve.
One child.
One child with Steve.
Yep.
Who is now passed away.
Yep.
She still has contact with obviously Steve's family because
Absolutely.
And now there is Mike.
Mark.
Oh, Mark. Sorry,
The
Mark,
best friend.
the best friend of Steve.
Yes.
Okay. I think you go to Steve's family and you say like, "Hey, I didn't really know how to tell you guys. I wanted to be respectful, but you've probably noticed that I've been hanging a lot, or like, around a lot with Mark. And we've kind of, over the course of this time of me healing and stuff, have found solace in each other.
Yeah.
And found comfort. And while I still, have a lot of love for Steve, and that will never go away, and a lot of love for you guys, I just wanted to let you know that I've been in this relationship with Mark. And you just be honest.
There you go. Just be. I'm a big fan of like OP was also saying, like, I'm afraid that it'll affect our relationship. Like, I feel like you could be open with that too. Yeah. Like, hey, I didn't want to. I feel like it might ruffle feathers. Or you might think
scared?
I was scared. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like if you just you want a script, read them the story.
Yeah, read
you know what I
you
mean?
Said. You know your feelings more than we do.
Yes. Yeah. Or
Or
can we write a better script?
I'm doing it! I'm almost there! Now let's see how it looks so far.
Yeah, I could probably fix it up.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, you cannot control how they respond. The only thing that you can control is your words and your actions. And if you want a healthy relationship, it cannot be grounded on secrecy.
Totally agreed.
Or if you don't, just keep it a secret.
Yeah, there we go. If you want an unhealthy relationship, keep it secret forever.
Toss
that key in a river.
But we have an edit. We're going to see what happens. Edit. I'd appreciate help with wording and exactly what to say with Steve's family. Thanks.
So
more on the
funny.
script. And then the update. Bad news first. Mark and I went ahead with the plan that I mentioned in the comments of my first post. Mark met up with Steve's brother, Nick, and I made plans to meet Steve's mom for a late breakfast. On Saturday morning, Mark told me that things with Nick did not go well. Uh-oh.
You can't control that. It sucks.
Can't control it.
Can't control it.
Can't control it.
You haven't done anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be upset. And, maybe they'll come around later.
Gotta live your truth. I was surprised because I didn't think Nick would care much about Mark and me dating. Nick and Steve weren't actually that close. The brother, Nick, is 2 years younger than Steve and Mark. Growing up, Steve and Mark teased him a lot and basically treated him like a little pest. That dynamic changed over the years, and Mark is close to him, but they aren't anywhere as near as close as Mark and Steve were. Mark said he was pretty straightforward in telling Nick that we've been dating. Apparently, Nick was confused and thought that Mark was asking for his permission and told him that he didn't approve.
He's like, ooh, you missed your window, bud.
He's like, oops, I kind of been dating her for like a year already.
Sorry.
So like, oops.
And for context, female 28, male 31.
Noted.
Roger.
Steve is male, or Mark is male 31.
Yeah, Mark is 31.
Yes. I'm not sure how the miscommunication happened, but it probably had to do with the fact that they were drinking. By the time Nick realized that Mark was telling him we were already dating, they'd both exchanged unpleasantries, if you catch my drift. Mark walked away thinking Nick felt like he was my keeper and that I should be off limits. End result, Nick's mad at both of us, I presume, and Mark is also mad. The good news is that my breakfast with Steve's mom went really well. Okay. I was super nervous because I already knew that Nick hadn't taken it well, but she and I actually chatted a bit about that too. She had no clue that Mark and I had been seeing each other, so she literally paused and took a long moment to digest it when I told her. She asked some questions about whether anyone else knew, how long, etc., etc. Apparently, Anna talks about Mark a lot, the child, because Steve's mom said that she knows how much the child Anna likes him from the way she talks about him when she slept over at their house. All in all, the conversation went much better than I could have expected. She was warm, sweet, and welcoming. She even told me that she would tell her husband and assured me that I had made a big deal out of nothing. At the barbecue, Steve's mom was so sweet. She basically took care of everything for us. She told the rest of the family one by one in a way that made me feel like she's proud and that we're together. this
Sometimes
is
it works out, man.
this is like the advantages of living in your truth, because one of two things could happen. This could happen where it's like, hey, we'll make sure you're safe and secure and like help you through this. Or they're like, oh, you're the worst ever. Blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, okay, maybe we need to reassess
our relationship
and, figure out a new structure that works best for everybody. Which,
it just shows you who they are.
Yes. And at least then you know how to move.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The truth is revealing.
I couldn't have wished for his parents to be sweeter about it, but I felt like Nick, Steve's brother, was avoiding us. He disappeared somewhere during the barbecue, so I went looking for him, hoping to talk to him at his mom's suggestion, and realized he had just left.
I mean, again, can't control it. Maybe he'll come around, maybe he won't.
Yeah. Been a bit of a baby, maybe?
I think absolutely there's this kind of just weird energy about your sister-in-law dating someone new.
Yeah, it's like you don't
years
control.
After your husband passed or your brother passed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like obviously you might have a lot of emotions and stuff, but those aren't her problem.
It's not you, bro.
Yeah,
it's
not about you.
Her. It's not about you, my guy. Now, I'm thinking of trying to chat with him this week. We usually text several times each week, so it wouldn't be odd for me to reach out to him. Mark doesn't think I should, but I actually feel like I'm a lot closer to the brother Nick than Mark is.
Emma Wilkins says maybe Nick was hoping to be with her.
Dude.
If they text like a lot, maybe.
Yes.
Good conspiracy theory.
Yes. That is a great Emma Wilkins. That is a great conspiracy theory.
Jared also says, I see you. Nick likes OP.
Yes.
Yeah, we got a couple people saying that in the chat.
That totally went over my head.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
No, you guys said it. I was like, I don't know. But then OP said, yeah, and we text a lot every week. And I was like, ooh, maybe.
And maybe he wants to be Uncle Dad. We haven't had an Uncle Dad in a while, Sophia.
They want to be Uncle Dad.
We need one.
We needed an Uncle Dad.
Come on. So I'm actually starting to feel like I should have been the one to tell Nick instead of Mark. I wasn't close to Nick when Steve was alive. They weren't at all that close. Nick was stationed overseas when Steve passed away. He's only been home for a year now, and I think he's only recently coming to terms with the fact that his brother Steve is gone. We talked a lot on the phone and over text after Steve passed, and I actually got to know Nick more as his own person. I think he's a lot more sensitive than Steve or Mark had ever given him credit for. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, he's so sweet. He's so sensitive.
So sweet. He's actually really nice.
Dude.
He's actually really attractive. I'd never noticed that he was as attractive as my husband.
Oh, they're brothers. They like look alike. Oh my God. Since he's been home, he spent a lot more time with my child Anna and me, so I feel like it's my responsibility to make sure that this is all right for him. I'm not sure that I can do that, but I think that if Mark and I dating is making it harder for Nick to come to terms with Steve's passing, I owe it to him to be there for him, to help him understand that I really do think Steve would be okay with this.
It's not about Steve. It's about Nick.
Ooh. But you know what else it's about, Sophia?
What?
It's about the fact that you right now might not have taken your fingers, gone to Spotify, Apple, or iHeart, and typed in OK Storytime.
What?
They haven't done it, Riley. Why not?
Papa.
I thought we had so much more left.
You lie.
Do we have that much left?
Nope.
No.
It's almost over.
No.
It's almost over.
No.
But you know what, Riley? If you want to hear longer stories than this one, you have to go search OK Storytime and listen to all 2,000 episodes.
Do it.
I'm sorry.
Do it.
That's what you have to do.
Do it.
I apologize,
I'm
everyone.
shocked. I'm actually shocked.
He's shocked, man.
But let's get into the very short conclusion of his very short story.
Woo.
So, Mark disagrees. My boyfriend Mark disagrees and thinks that we should leave Nick to get over it on his own. He keeps saying, this isn't about Steve, it's about Nick.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I think he knows. I think Mark knows that like Nick is into OP, and he's like, it's not about Steve. Nick's just into you.
Why wouldn't he say it though?
Because he's like, I don't want OP to realize that he's into.
Oh, because if she realizes it, does she
leave me? I'm just throwing pasta at a wall.
I mean, listen, some of that pasta might be sticking.
Is it ready?
I'm guessing Nick may be having some issues dealing with the fact that he and Steve weren't as close as he would have liked. I'm guessing that maybe he feels like this is his way of being a good brother. That's why I feel like I can help him with that and let him know that Steve wouldn't require this of him. I'm still not sure. Advice is welcomed and wanted. Thanks.
There's
again.
no updates? We don't get to find out?
There's none. That happened 9
Come
years ago. No
on.
updates.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Well, okay, yeah, we're left
Frustrating.
high and dry today.
Wow.
That's
Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
What do we let's make it, let's write our own ending. What do we think?
I
happened?
think so. She's like,
I'm gonna go talk to Nick and I'm gonna figure out what's going on.
and so she goes to Nick, and Nick is like, she's like,
Hey, I just wanted you to know Steve wouldn't want you to be upset about this. Like, Steve,
he would want you to move past this. He's like, it's not about Steve. And she's like, what? He's like, it's you. It's always been you. Ever since I saw you the day that Steve brought you home to the family, I was in love with you.
Oh.
But I couldn't say anything because you were with Steve. And then when Steve passed, I had these feelings and I pushed them down because I knew I couldn't be with you. You had just lost your husband, my brother. But then we were getting closer. We were texting. And I thought, maybe there's something there until Mark came to me and said that you guys were together, and I just can't do this anymore. I can't be around you when I love you so much. See,
Ladies and gentlemen, that's an Emmy right there. That's an Emmy right there.
Stop.
Also, this is just the farthest reaching conspiracy
Sure.
theory. Like you said, I fell in love with you as soon as you walked in the door as my brother's wife.
Yeah.
I knew that I needed to get brother out of the way.
Whoa, murder.
I don't know. But
She
that's
just-
it.
No.
That's all we got.
That's all she
our
wrote.
conspiracy theory. But we can't go further than that. We can't stretch it out any longer.
Tragic.
But what we can do is stretch into this next story.
Woo! My husband's friend confessed her love to him. Now everyone's mad at me?
Oh.
So I am in a kind of effed up situation. Seems like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm right to have my boundaries, but I also feel guilty that my husband is cutting off help to lifelong family friends because of me. By the way, this comes from Realistic Cloud 3033, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, my husband is a doctor, so it's normal that family and friends kind of come to us /him for reassurance because it's someone you know, either reaffirming what you were told or giving you a referral if possible. It makes people feel better. Zero issues there. I love that he is empathetic, and it honestly makes me wicked proud of him. It makes me wicked smart.
Wicked smart.
That people think that highly of him. So he has a friend who he grew up with. Their families pretty much raised them together. They were always friends since we met, but never super close. Plus, we live in a different part of the US. I have met her multiple times, and she seemed very sweet. She also was married when I originally met her and has 2 kids. Well, her father is very sick with the type of cancer that has a low rate of recovery. We live in the Northeast, and they live down south, so our medical care is definitely exponentially better. My husband has been helping consult and just being a good friend to them to make sure he gets the best care possible. This friend has been a bit needy and using him for emotional support. I get it. I'm not jealous because what we have is solid. Plus, when he has his medical mindset, that's it. Well, over the weekend, he woke up to some very questionable texts from this friend. She pretty much declared her love for him. Claimed God brought them together through this, and that she always knew they'd end up together.
You got to do it then. If God said you got to do it.
God said it.
You got to do it then.
God told her.
She doesn't
to
make
say
the
thing.
rules.
Yeah, but God did.
God made the rule.
God did.
God did. Also, if anyone in this world ever tries to pull that card on you, say, I'm actually praying about this as well, and I haven't heard or heard anything from God yet.
God actually told me the opposite.
That's what I'm saying.
Sorry.
Yeah. God told me to block you.
What the actual F? He told me as soon as he saw them in the morning, he messaged her back saying that what she said was highly inappropriate. She needs to find a therapist and that he no longer can help out.
Yeah.
She claimed she was drinking and emotional. She also begged him not to tell me. We don't keep secrets. He blocked her number. I don't know what she told his mom exactly, but she's so angry, and apparently it's all my fault. We don't like each other either. I'm not the Christian housewife she envisioned for her son, I guess. I didn't ask him to cut all ties. He did it out of respect and says that she has doctors and families to lean on. I feel slightly guilty because I hope that this doesn't impact quality of care. Maybe there was a way to cut her out and my husband helps her mom with medical stuff when needed. This whole situation has been making me feel gross. Am I the a-hole? I don't think I am, but I feel bad.
How would you be the a-hole?
Dude.
Your husband made a decision to like at the beginning of the story, OP said, oh, like I know I can have boundaries. Like this wasn't even OP having boundaries. This was your husband having boundaries.
Absolutely. But it's we've seen this like archetype, this avatar of a family member or mother-in-law before, where it's like, well, she has cancer, why are you doing this, do, or like her father has cancer. It's like, no, she literally professed love. And also can we just say husband like
immediately
flawlessly perfect execution.
Literally went, no, that's inappropriate, block, I'm gonna tell my wife.
Yes,
perfect.
Yes, absolutely.
Couldn't have asked for a better play.
Yeah, but my ICU, which seems already to be true, is that the family is going to somehow through their mental Olympics is going to flip this Simone Biles style back onto OP and ruin her life somehow.
I agree.
I don't know how, but
I agree.
I think it's gonna happen.
Comments.
Here we go.
Z Candor 17 says, not the a-hole. Tell your mother-in-law coveting your neighbor's husband/wife is unchristian, right?
Ooh,
that too.
Yeah. Also, what were they expecting your husband to do? Divorce you?
Yeah. That's one of the 10 Commandments too. So
come on.
Get commanded.
Not D. Noreza says, not when mother-in-law sees the prospect of a better daughter-in-law. Sounds like she raised a gem of a man anyway. Though you'd think she'd have the sense to be proud of it. Z Twilight says, not the a-hole, but I bet your mother-in-law has been feeding this woman all kind of BS about you and feeding her ego. Realistic Cloud 3033 says, I 100% believe that she is flaming this fire. 10-4 Boog Boy, your husband's a solid dude. We must protect him at all costs. OP says 100% agree. Honesty and clear communication is a huge thing for us, and you guys are killing it. But there is an update.
Yeah, I mean, now hearing that laid out theory of like, oh, she wants to replace OP with the good Christian wife down home.
Yeah, what do we do
So-
with the mother-in-law?
I don't know. I just like, do you go to her and you're like, hey, that's not very Christian of you?
Yeah, I feel like that's a.
I'm pretty sure those aren't the rules.
Yeah, he like I feel like the husband, because also what's the thing we always say, it's like if it's your family member, you deal with them. So husband, I think goes to her and he's like, listen, I'm trying to hold up the Christian ideals of like honoring
that
you taught me of like honoring my wife, honoring our marriage. Like I am not going to entertain even an inch of anything that would, make my wife uncomfortable. And like I don't want that. I want to be with my wife. Like I'm a committed man. Like that is like What can she say to that?
Yeah, and if she does say something crazy, then she's can't be reasoned with.
Ooh, very true.
Update.
Here we go.
I wanted to just post a quick update on our situation. My husband calls his mother to try to set clear boundaries. I am pretty sure she doesn't believe that boundaries apply to her and set things straight before they escalate more. Well, apparently that crazy train has already left the station.
Uh-oh.
He called her on speakerphone, which he told her while I was in the room. She lost her mind and demanded they have a private conversation.
Let me talk without the speaker!
Because this was a matter between family. He corrected her and let her know I am family.
Let's go!
That is right.
She then went on a rant about how I was displaying abusive and controlling behavior. She claimed I was isolating him from his family like I did before. We went no contact with her once because of her bad behavior, and she blames me. And I guess has been holding on to that. Like, what the F? Also, I wonder, it was probably a lot of his decision about that too.
I'm sure.
Because he seems like a person who's very careful about his boundaries and is very good at upholding them. So I feel like he was
100%.
probably like, I don't want to see my mom right now if she's going to act like this.
And mom is very good at destroying the boundaries like a bulldozer.
Yep. I had to leave the room then because my anxiety was too much. He is the most calm and level-headed person I know, and he was starting to raise his voice. About 5 minutes later, he came into our bedroom where I was trying not to have an anxiety attack. He told me he let her know how disgusted he was with her behavior and how disappointed he is that she didn't learn a lesson about trying to interfere with our marriage. He also informed her that for an indefinite amount of time, he will be taking space from her. He told her not to try to contact me. I have her silenced already. Oh, one fun little fact that came out is that his mom and ex have been seeing a lot of each other. His mom has been helping with the kids while the ex's friend and her mom are dealing with medical stuff for her dad. Just to address a couple of things. Yes, I realize I have an amazing partner. I love this man so much. I regularly tell him and show him how much I love and appreciate him, so don't worry. The reason I thought I might be somewhat in the wrong is because I battled cancer in my early 20s. During that time, I had a boyfriend cheat on me with a good friend of mine because he was overwhelmed.
You were overwhelmed?
He's like, oh, it's just too much. You being sick, you dealing with an illness. I couldn't just break up with you. I had to cheat on you.
Wow.
And they tried to gaslight me into thinking it was my fault because of all the stress.
Ugh.
So Opie has a history of people in her life just putting all of the blame on her for things that she's not even remotely responsible for.
Yeah.
I felt so abandoned and hurt. I just didn't want to feel like I was making anyone else feel that bad. I know the situation is very different. I'm a bit of a people pleaser, working on that with my therapist.
Nice.
Cancer is the worst, and my heart hurts for anyone who is going through it. That includes the family of the person who is sick. I also want to say to the person who called me a self-absorbed person, because this isn't about me. I think it says more about you than me that what you took from my post was just that. I hope you have the day you deserve. I like
That's
that.
a fun phrase.
I love that phrase. I've heard it a couple times. That's great. You don't have to say anything.
I don't know if I've ever heard that.
I hope you have the day that you deserve.
That's great.
Thanks to everyone else for the support and advice. I genuinely appreciate it. And there are some comments. Any thoughts, though?
I'm curious what our producer Riley has to say. Riley, if you were transported into husband's position,
bro, I'd be doing what he did. I love this approach. I'm glad that even though she may have failed as a mother, she at least created a young man that knows what's up.
Yeah, it's so funny how like the mom can be so crazy, but the person she raised is like phenomenal.
Well, I think that's like, I think that is something that happens a lot with parents. On like a lesser extent, you can have parents who teach you to love everyone, and they're especially when you're in like a religious family, they're like, oh, you have to love everyone, support everyone, be kind.
And then their love is very conditional.
Yeah, and it's like, and then you have the kids who are like much more loving and accepting, and then the parents are like, you shouldn't be doing that, and they're like, you taught me that. So it could be something like that.
Sorry for following what you said.
You told me to do that.
Next time I will disagree with you to agree with you.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, and she's not there because she's like, is she married, this mother-in-law? Because if she's out there hanging out with her ex and married.
I think she was hanging out with the husband's ex.
I see now.
She's literally recruiting replacement wives. Yeah. That is literally what she's doing right now.
She's got an entourage.
Can we make a 3-hour compilation of that? Because I know we hit this subject at least once a week.
Replacement wives?
Yeah, like the mother-in-law is like, you actually need to get back with your ex.
Yeah. Do it.
Exactly. Okay, let's run it up.
I got you.
Getting back with your replacement wives. 10 of the best replacement wives stories. Plum Major 2925 says, I read your old post to get familiar, and I'm laughing at your mother-in-law's reaction. She's upset you're not the ideal Christian wife. Well, that friend going after a married man is totally the Christian thing to do. Your husband is a good man. I wish I read more posts where the husband had as much of a backbone as yours does. You didn't do anything wrong. Opie says she's literally the worst. She's so judgmental and controlling. One of her favorite things to do is make comments and count how many drinks other people are having.
Ugh.
One day, I swear I would end up snapping and letting her know that her coffee cup she always has with her does not contain coffee.
Oh.
Pink Pencil says, you mean she hides her booze? Ooh, sneaky. That's a huge red flag for alcoholism. Take it from a recovering heavy drinker. Opie says, yep. And she's very protective over her cup. Like she won't leave it on the table when she leaves the room for something. I think her comments on other people drinking are projecting her issues on them. I Will Judge You says, you say that his mom has been taking care of the ex's kids. Did he and his friend ever date, or do you just refer to her as an ex-friend? But good luck to you. I hope things get to calm down now that both these horrible women are out of your life. OP says, ex-friend, oops. They never dated or hooked up. He actually had a high school sweetheart type deal into college, and his mom hated her too.
So basically, that was the same person.
Yes.
They were referring to. Gotcha.
Yeah. Scarlett Mae West says, so mother-in-law had her heart set on your husband marrying family friend and had her hopes dashed. My late mother-in-law was upset for eons that she was not allowed to pick my husband's wife. He was the youngest of 5 and her only hope to achieve her goal. Not sure why she thought it would work since we dated for 6 years before we married. OP says, my mother-in-law definitely had his whole life planned out for him. She wanted to pick his college, then she expected him to move home after. She wanted to pick his wife. She feels entitled to grandkids. She's also consistently asked him about moving back to his home state because they're getting older, and she expects him to uproot his whole life to take care of her. She has told her that it is absolutely not happening multiple times. He had recently started ending their phone calls if she brought it up.
Why do these parents constantly think that their kids are just meat puppets to do whatever? Oh, you're gonna marry Sally, and you're gonna go to this school, and you're gonna do this, and it's like, well, how about I control your life?
Yeah. So you're gonna marry this guy I found at the deli.
Yep, Bob.
Mom, what are you gonna do about that?
You're gonna do that. Then you're going to work at the job I pick for you, pig trench cleaner. You're going to clean the trenches of pigs. How about that? Is that exciting?
Mm-hmm.
Is that fun?
That's actually a Bible story. That one right there.
Really?
About the prodigal son.
Prodigal son.
Look at me referencing things I didn't know I'm referencing.
Yeah.
Don't control people.
Mm-mm.
That's not the move.
Or you're going to end up eating with the pigs.
Oh.
But then you get welcomed home with open arms.
With a
That's
ring
true.
on your
Pigs
finger.
are cute.
Yeah.
Mm.
Classic. Patty Marvel says, weird question. Is he an only child? This pushy behavior of hers would make an iota of sense if she had no other children to glom onto. OP says, yup, only child. She apparently had wanted multiple kids, but couldn't have any more. So he was her miracle baby. My mother-in-law did not want to adopt. She did not want to end up with anyone's problem child.
Of course.
So finding out we couldn't have / I couldn't have bio kids, I think was the final nail in the coffin for her. We are happily child-free, though. I would have totally been open to adoption if we had wanted kids. And that's the end of that story, I guess.
Wow.
It seems
so
like
many cliffhangers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there isn't really a cliffhanger in this one. It seems like they cut off the mom.
Yes. True.
I feel like the decision
point.
was they ended that relationship with the mom because she was crossing boundaries. And now you have OP and her very cool husband running off into the sunset.
Just living. Riley, what are you giggling about over there?
Where are you
John,
giggling?
there's so many cliffhangers. Sophia, no, there isn't. John, yeah. You're right. There aren't any cliffhangers.
Well, there were cliffhangers in the other stories. Just I think in this one,
it felt like a cliffhanger.
I understand what you're saying. That wasn't like you're wrong. I just think in this one, if you go back to the end of the second update, it
felt like a cliffhanger, guys. Yeah.
I don't think you were completely wrong. It did feel very sudden of an end.
Just like he didn't even he just like said no. There's no more cliffhangers. Like with the drop of a hat.
You're right. See, I am open-minded. I am an open-minded person.
Strong opinions loosely held.
Strong opinions loosely held.
As Sam says.
Oh,
there we go.
But that's the end of that story.
Right. Do we have another one in this episode?
We sure do.
My husband ditched me at our wedding. I'm now doubting our marriage.
Did you guys even get married?
Doubt? The wedding was only 2 weekends ago, but I haven't stopped being upset / confused about the way my new husband acted during it. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
So, background, I guess. We've been together for 7 years. He has a job with a weird schedule, so he only sees his friends a few times a month, about once a week or less. I'm friends with most of his friends and their girlfriends / wives, so we all get together often enough, although he spends time with his friends alone as well. By the way, this comes from Disappointed Bride, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So our whole relationship, whenever we are with his friends, he pretty much forgets I exist.
Yikes, that's bad. That's not good.
I forgot. Where'd Sophia go, Riley?
Who?
John.
Wait,
John,
who's
I'm
that?
right here.
I've never even heard of this person
John,
before.
Riley, I'm right here.
Can you close the window? There's some sound.
No.
I got
Some
you. I got
wind or
you.
something. Thank you. Don't do that. PSA.
I'm back.
She's back.
Yay.
He gets really excited to see them and ditches me pretty much the second we walk through the door. It doesn't usually matter because we see each other all the time anyways, and I just go off to hang out with the girls. I think it does matter.
It does matter.
Yes.
Your partner should want to you shouldn't always have to hang out with your partner, but they shouldn't be ditching you.
Or maybe he has so much to catch up with the other guys with. He's going to go get the tea and then come back and bring it to you.
He's like,
So he doesn't want to waste any time.
I have brought you the tea, mistress.
Ah.
I have collected it as you ordered.
Is this some British
I
butler?
have collected the tea as you've ordered.
Sophia,
What?
I found another skit you could do.
Okay.
British tea, but it's like actual tea and like people. Yeah, I'll talk to you about it.
So like Downton Abbey.
Yes, Downton Abbey, but it's like actual like. Did you know that John
That is
actually has a
Yep.
size 13 foot?
That's Downton Abbey, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they drink tea and they gossip.
I like the
Yeah.
the live sketch pitches going on. Let's go.
We interrupt this regularly scheduled broadcast to pitch a sketch.
Now, aside from that, lol, r/relationships cliche, he is my best friend. He is always there for me throughout all of my moments, family issues, and everything. He does anything for me and I for him. So, our wedding day. During the ceremony, he kept cracking jokes to me while our priest was in the middle of talking. I asked him to stop multiple times, so instead he turned to his brother, the best man, and just kept whispering / joking with him throughout half the ceremony.
Wait, that's crazy. The priest is like, do you take? And he's like, oh my God, did you see the game the other day?
Hey, brother, you know what's funnier than 24?
25.
25!
25.
Do you take this woman?
To be your 25!
Okay.
The priest noticed and glared at us until I finally poked him and whispered, "Are you marrying your brother? Be quiet."
Oh my goodness, I can picture this.
Mm-hmm. Now, after the ceremony, we went back to the limo with our bridal party. I thought we were both going to be so giddy to finally be married, but his attention almost immediately shifted to his bros.
I think I'm picking up on something here.
This is crazy.
What you picking up on?
I think he may have married the wrong person.
He wanted to marry his bros.
Oh.
This is your video, Riley.
The one I posted yesterday.
Yeah.
Ooh. Someone handed me a drink, clear, luckily, and I tripped over my husband's foot and ended up spilling half of it on his shoes and the bottom of my wedding dress. And he yelled at me in front of everyone and said, "That was your fault, so don't try to blame me." Wow.
Huh?
She tripped and spilled like water, a
Yeah,
clear,
she
a
tripped
clear
and
liquid.
It spilled probably water, and then has said nothing. He's maybe like, I don't know. We don't know if she's on the floor, but like is probably like gathering herself, and he starts yelling at her
And says, "This is your fault?" Huh? So, Sophia Gagolf Cologne. Why, bro? I keep messing up people's names. Anyways, Sophia says annulment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's day of.
Yeah.
Priest can probably do that, right?
Yeah. Right. Just like zoop,
Yeah.
one signature.
Yeah. The
Boom.
priest is like, you talk too much. Annulment.
Quickest, dude. Can we do another compilation series?
Shortest marriages.
Shortest marriages.
Yeah.
Shortest marriages.
Yeah.
We're doing shortest marriages, going in order from the longest to the
It's
shortest.
90-day fiance, but it's just 90-day marriage.
Right. 90 days to 1 second.
Yeah.
90-day divorce.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I hadn't even said anything. I just tried to move my dress away. My mouth dropped. I couldn't believe immediately after getting married, he was literally yelling at me in front of our whole bridal party instead of being happy. A minute went by and he apologized. I told him I couldn't believe he would do that to me after we had just gotten married, and he begged me to not let it upset me the whole rest of the night after we paid so much money / spent so much time trying to make the perfect day. I let it go. Newsflash,
What?
husband, you can't control her.
Sorry, if
or her
anyone
emotions.
yelled at me in front of, especially a partner yelled at me, not only just in general would that be
Anytime.
not okay, but like to also yell at someone in front of their family on your wedding day. I'd be like,
For spilling water?
Yeah.
That's
like a giant red flag.
so, yeah. It's a red veil,
Yeah.
you know?
Dude,
That'd be kind of cool.
this happened to my
Right.
grandma's dad the day before he was getting married. His like new wife he was with, she spilt something on the carpet or something was spilled, and she just went off on him, like went off.
Right.
And he still went through with the wedding, and
God.
it was like that one was horrible,
Dang.
really bad.
When people show you who they are, believe them.
Dang.
Listen.
Bar.
See it. Now, once the reception started, though, I realized that our wedding would go just like any other friend gathering. Him ditching me the entire time during the wedding to hang out with them. I didn't see him once during the cocktail hour, which we attended, and throughout the party after. Everyone kept stopping me and asking me where he was and why we weren't together at our own wedding. Every time I found him, he would disappear again. I started getting kind of upset and felt neglected the one day that should be about us as a couple, and I couldn't get him to spend more than a full minute with me. Just 60 seconds was too much
Dude.
for this man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Why
still
are you
can't
even paying this much for a wedding?
How much did they pay again?
We don't know, but they paid wedding costs.
They paid money.
I mean, let's call it $10,000.
Let's call it what it is. 10K.
10K.
Bro, you probably could have like went to Buffalo Wild Wings and put 10K on a bet and got more money than this.
Yeah, if you don't like hanging out with your wife or your partner, why are you marrying her?
He's just like, yeah, I just like don't like enjoy spending time with you
Yeah.
unless I like I have to because we like live together. So like I just want to make sure I'm not spending any time with you like as much as I
Oh
can.
my gosh, that's a good point. That's a really good point. Okay, who's cooking? Who's doing the laundry? Who's doing the chores?
Oh, he's like, yeah, you're kind of my maid. That's why I'm marrying you.
Yep.
And my bros are my wife. My bros
Oh.
are my wife, and you're my maid.
Yes. Wow.
Yikes.
Wow.
Yeah, no, this husband does not like you, and that's not
no.
okay. Don't take that.
Dude. Don't take.
Husband, F, marry, kill. Now, right now.
Kill. At one point, I was standing in the middle of the dance floor by myself, looking around, and his sister came up to me and asked what was wrong. I guess it showed on my face, so I told her the truth. Your brother is really upsetting me. I want to spend time with him, and he keeps leaving. So she marched over to where he was and told him to go talk to me. So he came over to me, and I told him I would really like to spend some time with him and that this day was for the two of us and I wanted to have some moments together. He said, all these people came for us. I have to spend time with them. Wrong move, buddy.
Dude, the day's about the both of you.
It's literally marrying the two of you.
Celebrating your partnership.
The entire thing is about the two of you being together.
No, I mean, like,
that's
I understand
the whole point.
to an extent, like, oh, you're hosting something, so you feel the need to talk to people.
Yeah.
But like,
but people get it.
Yeah, to not dance with your wife. I don't know. I feel like if I were in this situation, and I'm like a big hoster, like I understand not being able to talk to other people and feeling you have to talk to everyone and you know, move from person to person. But I feel like if I was marrying someone, I'd be like,
I want to talk to you as much as possible today.
Yes. And everyone should understand. If they don't understand, then
why are they at your wedding?
Then why are they there? That's the thing. But he did dance with me for a minute before disappearing.
How kind of him.
He hit his 60-second limit.
Yeah, he was like, okay, and time, gotta go.
58, 59.
She's like, you're never dancing with me. He's like, I literally did. I timed it.
Look, it's my stopwatch,
Okay.
bro. It's Velcro.
So the photographer told us at one point after dinner that he wanted to take photos of the two of us outside. So my husband and I began to follow him and his crew when the next minute my husband had gone off with a friend again.
Why? Why are you paying all this money to hang out with your friends? Just hang out for free.
Right? Even the photographers were getting frustrated with him at this point, and they told me so. By the end of the night, he was plastered. So there was no point of trying to communicate with him anymore. We had an after party during which I just hung out with his brother and sister because once again, he was off somewhere with his friends. I tried to talk to him about it the next day after everything settled, and although he apologized for hurting my feelings, he maintained that all of his married friends told him that they barely saw their wives during their wedding night. Interesting that the ones he quoted are getting divorced, though.
It's like, my friends never see their wives in general.
Yeah, like they just like
and
avoid
they're
them
getting
all the time.
divorced. But
Yeah.
that doesn't prove my point.
And like that's my goal in life is to divorce you. So why would I not follow from their inspirational examples?
At the end of the day, I'm kind of in between maids right now. So I thought, for the time being, you'd be my maid. Then when I find another one, I'd divorce you.
It's cool, right? It's cool. So he thinks he's justified and that I'm just being dramatic. I've dropped it because I just married him. I want to actually enjoy that fact. Dang it. But it's still bothering me, and I don't know if he's right, and I just had unreasonable expectations. And we have some relevant comments. We have an update, but Riley, but Sophia.
That's me.
I mean, do we instant divorce? That's my question.
We annul.
We annul.
I think we annul. You guys aren't ready to be married.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How did they not see this before they put down, like,
5K for the venue, 7K for this, 7K for that.
The thing is that OP did see this.
Yeah.
She said that this has been his behavior the whole time they've been together.
But she had this like excuse or explanation for it, like, oh, we spend all of our time together when at the house, so when we get together with his friends, it's okay that he completely abandons me and ignores me.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not okay. This is the behavior that he's going to carry into the rest of the relationship, regardless of whether or not you are officiated, your relationship is official. It doesn't change how he's going to act.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the thing is, I would say normally before you would divorce, you should go get therapy and stuff, and maybe that is still true, but these aren't new problems. It's not like this was a one-time thing where he behaved weirdly because he was maybe having like wedding stress or something. This is just who he is.
It's just who he is. But to your point, I think she could say, if she does want to do counseling and try to work through, it's like, hey, we're not ready to be married right now.
Yeah.
We need to get the annulment and then work on a relationship until we reach the point where where you're ready to not abandon me on our wedding night, when you're ready to actually be like a husband.
I agree. Yeah. I think and maybe he'll take that as like, oh, we're breaking up, in which case, that relationship's over anyway.
You got your answer.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to, I've already said how I feel, so why do I need to talk to some person about it? Some stranger. I'm about to make you a stranger, buddy. But we got some relevant comments. Comment number 1, wow, that's so sad. I feel so bad on your behalf just reading that. I'd be so pissed off and heartbroken if my future husband did that to me. In retrospect, because hindsight is 2020, you should have addressed his behavior changes when his friends are around way before getting hitched. Yes. And made it known that it bothers you a lot, and if he had a single brain cell bouncing around in his cranium, he'd have a fair warning long in advance of how he neglected you so much on your wedding day. Would not be cool at all, but alas, the deed's been done. I don't think you're overreacting. I think you explained your side of things very well. I wish I could tell you to just walk away from him, but you did, and he only got defensive. Maybe try showing him this post. A man who truly loves you wouldn't want to hurt you and would be very remorseful if they unintentionally did, and would do anything to rectify the situation. Yes. OP responds, I'm thinking about showing him this post when he gets home tonight, but I've been drinking wine and I don't want to upset him, especially tonight. Without giving it away too much, we don't live in France, but his job had troubles due to those events tonight.
What events?
Niche events in niche industry.
Niche French events.
At least niche French events. At least we have one descriptor now.
France.
A reply, F that I don't want to upset him crap. Think of how he made you feel on your guys' wedding day. I understand if he's having a hard time with all the horror that's happened in France, maybe wait a couple of days, but don't just let it go. He had a great time with his friends and made you feel like absolute crap, like all of the other gatherings between you two and his friends. He needs to feel like crap for what he did because it was a crappy thing to do. You need to bring it up to him and do show him this post. If he gets mad at you about it, don't say a word, grab a bag, pack some clothes, and stay in a hotel for a few days. But we have an update.
Ooh.
What do we've already said, like, okay, annul and, give him the option to work on it or end it depending on his reaction. Yeah. Do we get some space? Like, I don't know. What are we?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's not
over and done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think another reason why getting space could be good too is she might be still in the vortex, the reality distortion field a little bit.
Yeah, that this could work out.
Yeah, and maybe like a few days away, talking to her friends who are outside of the heck, not even necessarily suggesting this, but even husband's brother and sister.
Yeah, because it seems like his sister was supportive of you.
Yeah. The sister was like, brother, you need to go hang with your wife.
Talk
right
to your
now.
friends.
Or we think about what the OK Storytime Jesus gave us one day whenever he came along, and we get curious about this.
We get curious.
Maybe he's nervous. It's a wedding. It's a big day. He's nervous. He wants to be around the bros because that's what makes him comfortable. And the only thing he's seen his bros do with his wife is destructive and not very healthy. So he needs to have better role models in his life. And
I mean,
he just doesn't know what to do.
It seems like I'm guessing he does not have good. His role models are his bros who are divorcing.
Yeah.
That's his role models.
And I kind of know. I don't know if I have to be curious. I kind of know the answer.
There is a point. There is a point.
She's already been curious. She's been like, "Why did you do that? Why'd you do that?" And he's like, "Cause I want to hang out with my bros.
Because I like my bros.
I like my bros.
I like hanging with them.
Woman.
I can't hang. You're just a woman. You have cuties. I can't hang out with you. I gotta hang out with my bros. You know the old saying, bros before gardening tools."
That's right. And I don't like gardening, but I like playing games with my friends.
I don't like gardening.
I don't like gardening too much, but I like my friends. So I'm going to leave you
Dang.
on our wedding day.
A real
That's my
man
impression
would
of it.
have a garden, though, even if it is just flowers.
So true. But we have an update. After I posted this, I showed the thread and all of its many awesome responses to my husband.
Get roasted.
Ooh.
Got him. At first, he was kind of peeved that I shared it with so many people. I got hundreds of upvotes that I wasn't expecting, and I think it made him feel less anonymous. However, I gave him time to process it while I played with our cat. When I came back, he looked really sad.
Good.
He ended up apologizing.
Whoa.
And asked me what he could do to show him I meant the world to him. I told him there was nothing.
Ooh.
I just wanted him to know how much it upset me.
Wait. What?
Nothing.
OP's like, I don't know. You could have been like, hey, I want you to be more communicative. I want you to prioritize our relationship. She's like, I don't know, nothing. I just wanted you to know that I'm sad.
Yeah. Tell him, give him the guidance of like, okay, like
help
when
him
you go,
fix your relationship.
Yeah, when you go with your friend, the clear one, when you get with your friends, do not abandon me.
Yeah.
Include me. Hang with me.
Hang out with me.
Yeah. When we get married, don't abandon me.
Yeah, dance with me, man.
Right? Come on, I want to dance.
Act like we just got married, man.
Yeah, just pretend.
Pretend for one day.
Oh, God.
Also, when I get married, I'm going to milk that so much. We just got married for 2 years straight.
Yeah.
I believe
it. Every hangout, Raz is going to be like, we just got married.
Sorry, I just got married. Sorry.
We just got married.
That's going to be a great new pod joke once it comes around.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Now, I just wanted him to know how much it upset me. I told him honestly that while most people think of their wedding day as the best day of their life, I didn't get the opportunity to feel that way about mine. And I still don't.
Youch.
I'm happy I married him, but my wedding was a big cluster F of nerves and annoyance. I did have fun at various points during the evening, and I don't remember it only resentfully, but it wasn't #best day ever.
And you deserve that.
Yeah, that's true. You do deserve that. But you know what? That's okay.
No, it's not.
It's okay.
Slap the okay on top of it.
Stop it.
Abandon me again. It's cool. It's cool beans, dude.
OP's like, oh, my husband's finally getting it. It's fine. It's okay.
Whatever.
Oh, it's fine. Be honest. It's not fine.
Tell him. We talked about it more in detail, and then we went on an amazing honeymoon. And then he surprised me with a second honeymoon to a place in our country that I've been dying to go to for ages. I know we're still newlyweds, but I feel like we've been in a better place. Since being married, he's been a lot more affectionate than he used to be. He was always nice to me, but he's always the doing type of lover. Oh, God. He shows love by doing things for me instead of showing me physical affection or telling me things.
Acts of service. That's his love language.
Yeah, his act of
service
at the wedding was ignoring you and ditching you.
Yes. Babe, I gave you the gift of solitude.
You're welcome.
Bro, you should have just had, like, I don't know, like a couch for him to build. They would have
Yeah.
he would have showed you love that way.
Right? Oh. And then he would have kicked her off the couch so his bros could all sit on
He's
and
like,
play video
my
games.
bros are coming.
You gotta leave. You're
God.
gonna ruin it. But lately, he's doing a lot to show me that he loves me in other ways. We've hung out with friends a lot since then, and while I still maintain that I don't want to be joined at the hip at social gatherings, I truly don't, which is why this issue never really came to a head before. He's been checking in with me more than he used to. Because, yeah, I was worried that...
Which was nothing before.
Which was nothing before.
Anything is better.
And I was worried that he does the second honeymoon because she said, oh, it's fine when we're hanging out alone.
She's already said that it's fine when they're hanging out alone.
But then they get together and he demands her. I guess it's
He's
a little better.
improving.
I guess it's improving.
Okay. Got my eye on you.
By the way, do you want to improve your life, Sophia?
Yes.
Do you want to improve your life?
How?
Well, you can go to Spotify or Apple or iHeart, and then you can search OK Storytime, and then you can listen to 2,000 episodes of this show.
What?
Yeah, it'll improve your life, Sophia.
No way.
Yes, it will. Don't argue with me.
Okay.
It's not factually incorrect information, Sophia.
All right, then. You're my boss.
That's right. So, and I'm your boss too, so go look it up right now, listener. Anyways, in the end, I think we are so used to the way we act in normal social situations after 8 years that it's hard to change for just one day. Typically, we both go off to hang out with other people. I said in the old thread that at this point, most of our friends are mutual, that it was atypical for him to spend a lot of time around me, who he sees every day, instead of entertaining the people who came out to celebrate him. I've forgiven him.
Has he changed?
He's changed. But I told him on our 1-year anniversary, he owes me a nice dinner at the catering hall, which also has a restaurant we got married at. Winky face.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I'll believe it, but I'm gonna do a test too.
Oh.
Be like, okay, good. We're on the same page here. Let's have the bros come over and see how you treat me then.
Oh, and what you do is you plant a series of traps with the, so the bros are like playing COD, and you're like, babe, can you help me in the kitchen? And then he has to choose COD or helping you. And then a couple hours later, the bros are out smoking cigars.
Oh.
Babe, we need some help cleaning up in here. What are you gonna choose?
Who's he going to answer?
Oh, the bros are going out for drinks after. Babe, let's play board games. What are we going to choose?
What are you going to do?
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Give him the labyrinth.
The labyrinth.
The labyrinth
With
of
a
tests.
slice of cheese at the end, which is a healthy relationship.
Oh, delicious. And we have a comment to close us out here. Commenter number 1 says, you had a bad wedding, but it looks like a good marriage. A lot of people have good weddings and bad marriages. I wish you the best.
It's true.
That last part is true. Commenter number 2 says, I am not intending to be a Debbie Downer, but wanting to plant a seed so you are prepared. If you guys are intending to have kids at some point, you may well go through something similar where in social situations, he goes off and just assumes that you're taking responsibility for the kids. Good call. When that time comes, you might want to proactively chat about who is on duty, when, and also to make sure that the off-duty person checks in periodically to see if anything has changed. Good advice. And comment number 3, other than just apologizing, did he even explain why he acted the way he did, in particular the wisecracks during the ceremony?
Yeah.
We forgot about that part. Dude, good question. And screaming at you in the limo.
Yeah, and also screaming at her at the wedding.
Yes. Come on.
I forgot about those.
Right? Same.
You're not off the hook.
Not off the hook, sir. I think it's great that you had a great honeymoon and he's being nicer to you, but I still think you need to get to the bottom of why he treated you the way he did. And then OP says, yes, he did. About the wisecracks, he was really nervous and diffuses nerves through humor. It was poor form and I'm still not happy about it, but he wasn't trying to be malicious in any way. The yelling at me part, that one was harder to swallow. He thought since it was sort of his fault that the adult soda spilled on my dress, that I was going to be really angry at him for it. Expensive dress, high emotions. I didn't because nothing was going to ruin my mood, but he reacted defensively. Yeah, not awesome. Yeah,
Not really an excuse for that.
That doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. I was only able to let it go because I know he never typically acts out like that. This was the one part of the day, more than anything else, that I was the most angry about in the days and weeks following the wedding. So yeah, not great reasons, unfortunately, but I still understand. I wasn't the best at managing my emotions either that day, but you did nothing
didn't do any of that.
wrong.
You didn't do any of that.
Like, it's okay that you didn't manage your emotions great. It's like, oh, I ended up snapping at his cousin inside the church because he accidentally opened the doors in front of me right before my entrance. But before the bridal party had a chance to walk, I apologized to him a million times for it, though. I mean,
such a small mind. You probably were like, "Hey, don't open the doors."
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh my God, like how could I ever do that, cousin? I'm so sorry." It's like, oh, like yeah, it's cool. It's your wedding. Like, hey,
I'd keep an eye on this so-called husband of yours.
Keep an eye on him.
But that's the end of that story.
So we can't keep an eye on you any longer.
Because it's also the end of the episode.
You're gonna escape our grasp in our eyeballs. But it's got to happen sooner or later.
So true.
What can you do?
Nothing.
All good things must come to an end.
Yep.
So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.